ever try to puff on the left side, put it up in your mind. It's gonna be alright. You run, try, roll your mind. You run, try, roll your mind. You run, try, roll your mind.
What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can probably tell from the title of the video, today we're going to be doing a secondary air pump delete on my E46. As I am prepping the car to get it tuned, the secondary air pump delete, after you delete your cats, is basically pointless when it sits in the engine bay because the main purpose of it is to make the cats run lean and warm up a bit faster when you cold start it in the morning. So when you have no cats, it's basically pointless having the whole system in it, so I might as well just delete it, save some weight, and open up some space in my engine bay. I've also seen a lot of stories online where people still have their secondary air pumps in their car, and it also tends to cause vacuum leaks, as well as really bad starts and rough idling right when you turn on the car in the morning. So by doing this, not only am I saving some weight in the car, I'm also making the engine bay look a lot more clean, a lot more simple, and on top of that, I'm also mitigating any issues I would have later down the line if I still had the system installed in my car. So to delete the secondary air pump, it's a really straightforward job. I'll give you guys a detailed tutorial in this video, so just keep watching. And then you only need two parts really. So the first part you're going to need is the block-off plate itself. I've seen a lot of people make custom versions of these at home. They're pretty easy to make, but I just went out and bought the thing itself just because it was pretty cheap, and I went ahead and picked it up from the dealership, so I know it's going to fit perfectly. And then as an option, you could also pick up the gasket. I've also seen a lot of people use just gasket maker to seal it up. They both do the same job, but I just wanted like a nice finish, so I went ahead and got this. It was pretty cheap. And then yeah, that's basically it. If you guys want a quick second to pause the video to get the part numbers for each of them, there you guys go. So without further ado, let's head into the garage and get this installed. So the first thing you want to do is remove that 10mm bolt and then get your washer fluid tank out the way. So after I took that bolt out, I lifted the tank up out the way a little bit. I hooked it up to this hanger, so I know it's not going to move and get in the way. So now what I'm going to do is pull out this connector. So you just push on each side, and then this should pull out. So after you disconnect that cable, there's a hole right there. You guys see it? That's basically where grommets in. You just want to pull that out to make sure this is disconnected from the whole unit itself. After that, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this hose from the unit itself. After you disconnect the hose from there, you can grab two 10mm bolts. After you take those two bolts out, you also want to take out this, and there's another one right there. And I'll take those three out, and I believe this just pulls out like that, and then there's one more under it you have to get rid of as well. So after you take those three bolts out, this is going to be loose right now, and then there's a cable right under it. You want to disconnect that one as well. So now that I have this disconnected, you could slide this towards the back of the car. It's just held in by a grommet right there. I don't know if you see it. Look, I'll push it back right now, and it just slides out. Then this whole unit comes out like that. So after you have that out, now you can just go ahead and remove that last bolt right there. After you have that last bolt out, this whole bracket should just come out. Just like that. So now that the bracket's out the way, I'm going to go ahead and grab my 10mm again, and then grab the two bolts out the side of this little pump thing. I'm not really too sure what this is, to be honest. So these are the two bolts I ended up pulling out from each side. And depending on your situation, it'll either come off with just the nut or the nut and the stud. But regardless, it should still work, and you can just put them back in the way you took them out. It just depends on whether they're seized or not. So now I went ahead and I grabbed the two pieces I got. I put the gasket on the back side, the flat side, and then I'm just gonna stick it on like that, right there. And then I'm just gonna put the two bolts and nuts in. So I put the plate on, I put the bolts in. I just have to tighten them with the wrench still, but that's how it should look like. So now I wrenched on, it's all nice and tight. And just a quick note, you don't wanna make it too tight because these heads of the engine are aluminum and they tend to strip easy. So don't put too much pressure into it, just feel it out. Once it's nice and firm, just leave it. It should be good. Something else I did notice was that in the other videos I've watched online, there was a vacuum line that runs right here and then goes towards the back of the car. And for whatever reason, mine does not have that. I'm not really too sure exactly why. It could be because this car's a facelift and maybe the pre-facelifts had it and the facelifts don't. I'm not too exactly sure. But depending on which car you have, just double check on that because I'm not too sure exactly why mine didn't have it. If your car does have that vacuum line, all you have to do is just cap it off and plug it and then make sure there's no air leaks. But other than that, the block-off plates is nicely in. I'm going to put this back, and then I'm going to zip ties these cables somewhere possibly away from the heat, just so they don't melt or anything, and just leave them towards the side. So I hooked up my washer fluid tank again, and as you guys can see, I just zip tied the cables right here, and I kind of like just kept them over here in this corner. Looks pretty good. Look how much more space there is in the engine bay now. Looks good, looks nice and clean. So now let's go ahead and turn on the car and see if anything's different. don't feel any sort of vacuum or anything, so I'd say it's a good success. And this is just a quick sign up for you guys to actually want to do this to your car. If you're gonna go ahead and delete the system, it only really makes sense doing it if your car's catless and you're gonna get it tuned later on, because this whole system was designed for the cats, so it's basically deemed useless if you have no cats in your car. And on top of that, once you remove it, it also set off a check engine light on your dash. And of course, if your car's catless, that will most likely also set off a light on your dash. So most likely when you go get it tuned, the tuner will give you an option whether you want those lights removed or not, and most people just say yeah, so they don't have the light on their dash. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know that. Other than that, that's gonna be it for this video. It was just a quick install video for you guys, because I haven't seen really too many detailed instruction guides for a SAP delete, especially on a facelift, because I'm not too sure whether that vacuum line actually is existent on facelifts or not, because mine didn't have it. That's another story for another day. I hope you guys found the video helpful. If you guys have any questions, just leave them down below. I'll be more than happy to answer. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.